Okay, look at the time, 6:18, still fairly bright out. We're going to have some, light coming in and out while this is happening, which is pretty much what it seems like is going on in the world at this time, and kitties coming in and out and all that sort of stuff. So, Steve here. I've been making, a lot fewer videos. There's the kitty under the chair, or under the little bench that the computer's sitting on. So we'll see how well this goes. We might all be feeling a little seasick if she starts kind of messing with it, and I'll just start over again. Looks like she's going to rub the corner of the bench against her cheek. I don't know if she's putting a scent on it or if she's just kind of messing with me. Either way, here we are on this 10th day of August 2024, and we'll just see kind of the length of time we spend with this video. What's been, well, just briefly, I'd say it was 15 months ago that I began doing what were referred to as detox baths, because people were asking me what they could do in relationship to their reactions to the process that they were given to protect them from, the thing that was going on in the world relative to what was referred to as a virus. And so people were having some experiences from the thing that was supposedly going to stop them from having the virus. And so I was kind of looking at it and thinking about, well, is there anything that, that looks promising in terms of helping people through this process? And one of the things that came up was detox baths, that detox baths could be very helpful. And I decided that rather than, make any suggestions of doing this, I would just go through the process myself and see what would happen if I began taking detox baths multiple times a week. So I think I was averaging 5 a week, taking a couple days off or a day here and there, and then just continuing with it. So the bath that I was doing was, initially it was recommended like I think a cup of Epsom salts, which I think is a magnesium salt, a magnesium-based salt, and understanding that that was a good cleansing agent. And then also borax, which is one of the elements, and I think also is probably some type of a salt, but borax supposedly has some really drawing qualities, so if you use it in a bath, it'll again pull toxins out through the skin. And then also baking soda is another one, and the borax, I started off using the borax at about a half a cup, and I fairly quickly, with the strength of my response to it, got it down to just a tiny little bit, small handful, with and I got the Epsom salts down to about a half a cup, and then just a splash of borax, and then I quit the borax altogether and the baking soda because they're causing too much of a feeling of dryness of my skin, like they're kind of pulling too much out. So I just went to straight, and I've done that for 15 months. And all sorts of really interesting and wonderful things have taken place in terms of, feeling my body cleansing, my body working better, a lot of detox through the skin, a lot of work just getting improvements with liver function, gallbladder function, small intestine function, stomach function, large intestine function, working with the lymphatic system, just bringing and using also some supplements, vitamin C and zinc and vitamin D and just a number of different things to aid in like a higher immune system function. So I did all that. And beginning on, I know the exact date because I just felt I'd been in this cleansing process for 2 to 3 months, and on August 16th, I felt energetically the best that I could remember ever feeling. I felt so clean, and this was after 3 months. I felt so clean and so sharp-minded and energetically clear that I was just like, wow, this is the best I can remember feeling. And I'm 73 years old. I thought, wow, this is great. That night in the dream world, it was just horrendous, the amount of kind of trauma stuff work that went on. And I woke up the next day and I was just felt physically ill, like my body just was dumping. And so that was August, September, October, November. I was hoping by November, okay, I'm going to be through this. Got into December and it just kept going. I kept doing the detox fast. I was doing other things to just cleanse internally. But it just continued. And I would say I was running at about 50% of my energy. And so I wasn't getting as much done. I mean, a lot of videos, but that's another story. But I wasn't getting as much done, just around the place. I didn't have to feel like I had the energy to do very much other than make videos, so I just made videos and talked about the process and did some healing work through the videos and just continued with my regular energy healing work that I do over the phone with clients. And boy, it was just like this. And there was no sense in this whole 12 months, because it's going to be 12 months and 7 more days. It will have been, in 6 more days, it will have been a complete year of this detox process. I'm still glad I'm doing it. I'm still continuing with it because I feel like I want to live healthier longer. And I feel like this rise in vibration, this 3rd to 5th dimensional rise in vibration that's been going on for 27 and a half years, started on March 23rd of 1997. And I actually was at the event that initiated it, and the being that was coming in as the soul of the earth was the one that told me about this 28-year process. So, excuse me. So I was helping with the helping with the incarnation of this being, kind of a spiritual midwife kind of thing. There were 3 other beings. I don't know who they were, but there were 4 of us that before we came on Earth had agreed to do this thing on this date, and it took my guides to just kind of work me until I was in position to help with this. It took a year to get in position to help with this. But this being Abrahamanad told me that it would be a 28-year cycle, 7 years of physical cleansing, 7 years of mental cleansing, 7 years of emotional cleansing, 7 years of spiritual cleansing. And it has been. It's been a lot of cleansing. And the last 6.5 years of spiritual cleansing has been cleansing on all levels, because the energetics are just getting higher and higher and higher. That's kind of the good news in a way. But all the stuff that the body has gone through, all the things that we've lived through in this lifetime, all need to be finished and completed. And we got 6 more months, approximately, a little over 6 more months to go. 6 months and 13 days to kind of finish up this work. I'm hoping to make it. It seems, it seems like it seems like a lot, the last 4.5 years since the beginning of 2020. So yeah, 4.5 years has been really challenging. I feel good about how I've done, and the depth of the cleansing. Now, not just the physical. I think the physical cleansing is representative of the deeper levels of mental and emotional and spiritual cleansing that are taking place. And the depth of it. I mean, this has been my focus for the past 50-some years, has been this cleansing process, this healing process has been my focus. But it just keeps amping up, and it keeps increasing in terms of my physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual cleansing, which kind of, in some ways, has, maybe not peaked, because maybe it's just going to keep going in that direction, but it sort of has felt like it's peaked over the last few days, where earlier today, there was this emotional thing that came up in the midst of conversation, and it was this deep, painful experience that I'm just going to guess came from childhood, because the thoughts were very much out of childhood, out of not belonging to the family of my origin, and not feeling welcome there, and feeling like a stranger in a strange land, and that feeling of not being welcome in my home and not being safe in my home really came up to be released. And boy, it was so painful in the heart. And yet, I felt with kind of some support, I was able to go into this pain and then release it. I just did the last part of it right now, so you could possibly energetically do it with me, if you felt like it. So, after that release, I felt like my energy freed up, my energy was flowing, the world didn't seem as disturbed as it had felt to me just prior to letting that go. And I think this is something that all of us are going to find ourselves doing over the next 6 months and 13 days, is we're going to find, as the energy goes up, we're kind of being pushed to resolve and finish all this stuff that remains unfinished from our ancestry, from other lifetimes, just on and on and on. It's all coming to now to just be released and finished and integrated, so that we're prepared for this new world that we're moving into. So I have a good friend, has a YouTube channel. His name is Tim Wild, W-H-I-L-D. He's a person in this physical reality, but he also is a person who is one of the instructors in my night school courses. And so I ran across him like 3 years, 4 years, 5 years ago. And the things that he was saying were the same things he was saying in night school, in the dream world. I recognized him, and I began listening to him. And at a certain point, I wasn't getting like kind of useful, anything that was like helping me in my process. So I stopped. I'd touch him once in a while, but not listen too much the last year or so. But my wife suggested that I watch this video he did, his Friday Ascension update from yesterday, and he was just talking about all of his symptoms. And he's just talking about how difficult this time is. And I'm like, okay, we're back on the same page. This is really challenging, and a lot of physical stuff is being cleared right now, as well as mental and emotional and spiritual. So if you're finding that to be true for you, then this is meant to be a means of supporting you in the process, to stay with it, to know others are going through this. It's not just you, that many of us are just going through this process right now. And I think it's useful to just hold this sense that this is what needs to be done. It is happening, but that this is what needs to be done to take us to that place where we can shift and change in ways that make us much more able to handle these higher vibes that keep getting higher and then higher and then higher and then higher. And so you gotta kind of stay with it, or it can feel like, the waves crashing down on you. And so, any ways I can be of help, I will be. My writings, I felt really good about, except for one, which I deleted, which was just like, rah, 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 So I just deleted that one because I didn't feel people needed that energy. If I had felt it was helpful, I would have left it, but I didn't feel it was helpful. Once I read back to it, I said, no, you're just spewing, and that's not helpful. And it may feel like I'm spewing now, but it doesn't feel that way to me. We're in for the long run. We've got 6 months and 13 days left to complete this 28-year process. 6 months. It's going to go by fairly quickly, although it may not seem like it goes by quickly while we're going through it, especially if we have lots to purge. But purge away. Hopefully these videos are supporting you in doing that. And that's about all for now. And as oftentimes I say, now let's go.